Wow. It was just a collection of voices and different emotions. Like, essentially, in my mind, I figured a demo reel should show off, like, if you have done a lot of professional work, snippets of what you've done. So I just pretended I had done things in my mind. And,
there you go.
That's what demos are.
Yeah.
So, and somehow they thought, hey, look, this guy's worth trying out for some reason. But, yeah.
We left Hawaii for Texas.
It's a dumb move, don't do it.
You can always go back.
Micah's very first major role was in Bloss Rider, where he played my little brother. And then he became Soul.
Yeah.
So, Bloss Rider's first. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's an amazing anime. If you're over 17. So in a few years, knock it out of the
See,
park.
I've already asked a question. I'm one ahead of you. So.
More questions from the non-inquisitive audience. Yes, sir.
Okay, is there any role that you wish you could have continued? Any role that you wish you could have continued that for some reason you
A
couldn't?
role you wish you
Well,
continue.
there's been some shows that have been sold to other networks that I was on that I'm not continuing, like Ninja Turtles, which is now on Nicktoons, and my agent called me and said, we're going to submit you, and then they didn't call me, which is really surprising to me, because I'd worked on the show for so long, but maybe they wanted totally fresh new voices. And then Winx Club got taken too, and I was in that show, and that's being recast. It's not a big regret. If what had happened with Pokemon, which by the way is a huge debacle, I'll probably explain it at some point. If what had happened with that had happened with Dragon Ball Z, I know I would have been devastated, and I know Veronica Taylor was and is to this day devastated by it. She's a wonderful woman and did a fantastic job as Ash for numerous years. And I still work on Pokemon because my contract expired, and I didn't have a major role, so they just let me do ancillary characters, and then I was in the new movie. But when that whole thing first happened, one of the other studios that got Pokemon called me, and they said, well, can you come work for us? I said, my contract doesn't permit it. And what the contracts do is, and Funimation has the same contract, and it doesn't help fans, it only helps companies. Basically what it says is, if we ever sell this show or it gets taken from us, you cannot do this voice in association with this character for anybody else for a period of this long from your contract expired. Well, that's a period of 18 months. So 18 months after everybody's contract expired, everybody's like, well, why don't you bring the old Pokemon cast back? And Pokemon USA was like, we don't want to, but we don't mind if other people who used to work on Pokemon, and well, it was really not, they don't mind, but it was like 4 kids who couldn't stop us. And so then I was able to continue roles on Pokemon, and I continue to work on Pokemon. But yeah, that happens a lot, and I personally detest it, because to me it's all about continuity of character and the acting, and it serves only companies and doesn't serve fans, and I think it should be all about that, the latter, serving fans. So that's kind of a longer version, but I thought I think you probably had more interest in why that happens, I'm guessing. So.
Well, I mean both, because I know some shows now are going sub-only for the next season, some are not being picked up for the next season.
A lot of that has to do with stealing anime, and I can't stress enough that if you want to, pay for it and have a party and watch it on a big screen or something, but stealing it,
It's
killing the industry, So, and did anyone else
Also,
want to answer this
it's
question about
bad. That's really bad karma.
True. Did you guys want to any shows that?
As far as any show that has ever ended, I'm always like, no! And we always pray for second seasons, and you hear when you hear there's a second season to a show, you're always like, please, let's get it, please, let's get it. I was like that with Spice and Wolf. And then sometimes the second season, you just hope that your character comes back. But the 2 big ones that I wish there were more for is Witchblade, and then also Meg and Burst Angel. I wish there was more Burst Angel too.
Micah, any show you wish to continue?
I'd say Soul Eater, because it's still going, apparently, in the manga. And I heard that there were a bunch of video games, too. And I thought it would be really cool if we got to do those as well.
They're also making a Hawaii Five-0 remake, so you should be very excited about it. I'm giving a hard time about leaving Hawaii.
I did watch it, oddly enough. And I was like, this is Hawaii Five-0? Anyway.
Questions?
Yes.
What's your favorite voices that you can do that's not really related to anime or video games?
Oh.
Or just some favorites that you have?
Well, I have my staples: Chris Walken, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Bill Cosby. See, And I also, what else do I do? I also do impersonations of a lot of my friends, so you wouldn't think, get those. I'm gonna keep thinking while you.
Well, I mean,
I got nothing. We're gonna work with you on that one.
yeah, Micah's a bit of an introvert.
Micah, come out of the closet, little man.
I think last night.
You got the tweeds.
I guess mine are just like it's not even something that I'm aware of. I think it's just you're talking to your friends and all of a sudden you've fallen. I'm sure you do this. You fall into the Southern lady all the time. I declare, heavens to Betsy.
I do this whole. You look real nice today in your little dress. Mm-hmm. Like, they always think because women are always like checking you out and competing with you in the South. So
That's
you
real
look nice
pretty.
today. Mm-hmm.
I sometimes do impersonations of my grandmother, who's really good at like complimenting you and insulting you at the same time. So she'd be like, "Oh, that is such a pretty little outfit. Promise me you'll never wear it again."
Yeah, it's that kind of like backstabbing compliment thing.
She's really good at that. Really good at that. So that I do that a lot.
What else you do?
I used to scream at my brother at a really high pitch to irritate him.
I'd like to hear that.
Oh gosh.
Alright. Might need water. I haven't done this in forever. And so that's really fun to do. I used it in a sketch once too, as a bird call. And I would just hold it out as long as possible, and I did it twice. It was really fun.
I made this
But
character.
go ahead. I will tell you though, those Darth Vader masks that change your voice? If you scream like that outside of if someone's wearing that mask, let's say it's my brother, and you scream like that outside of it, it will bounce around inside the mask.
Because you're doing the sympathetic vibration of the vibrating.
So he was like, "It's in my head." It was really funny.
I made this character for a friend of mine called Bruce with gay tech support. And basically she'd call me up and go, "I'm having trouble." I come in and go, "Hi, it's Bruce with gay tech support. How can I help you?" And I made up a catchphrase for him, like when something goes wrong, just say bing bong. So when something goes wrong, just say bing bong and get yourself an orange mocha frappuccino. And but I would actually do real tech support, like I was really good with computers, but I would do totally this character. And then she wanted to Skype it, and I had my little headset on. I go, "My employee number is 622-5. How can I help you?" And I'm like, "What the heck is this? Why?" And she goes, "I don't know. It's just funny." And she just made me do it over and over and over. There's a lot of different characters. There's like a robot multiphonic voice I always do as a warm up in voice sessions. Like it's like a robots. They do the whole. Like the Tuvan Monk chant, the multiphonic thing, which I used on a show called Fighting Foodons as Digestor. There's a lot of weird vocalizations I like to do around the house because I'm always talking. Like right now, I'm gonna shut up. Okay, I'm done. Anybody, Micah, you come on, you gotta have fun.
I like to make trouble to my girlfriend, so I'll flirt with her in a really stupid voice, like, "Hey, I think you're cute," or "Hey there, Miss America." And then for some reason, I think it was Chris Bevins. He was joking once about me auditioning for a female and using a lesbian voice. And so whatever that is, and so I took that and I started using it on one of my friends, and she started getting really creeped out, and I don't really remember what it was. It was like, "Hey, Arafel, hi." Yeah, it's not a lesbian, but that's okay.
Sometimes I have a habit of mimicking someone instantaneously if they have a hook, and I don't do it as much anymore because I realized that it was thoroughly offensive, although ultimately I don't always care. I remember years ago before I was a voice actor, I walked into Chili's, and some girl with a thick, I was in Texas, some girl goes, she goes, "Hi, how are you? Welcome to Chili's." And I went, "Hi, how are you?" Like instantaneously. And she's like, "That was not funny." And I'm like, "That's what you sound like." And I felt really bad after that, but not for long. And then I laughed about it, like now. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? Yes.
Our favorite role?
Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a Libra, so I have a really
over
hard
there.
time picking favorites. But yeah, I do like donuts in general. Let's see, Witchblade is up there.
Nobody
Ophelia
got
from
that.
Romeo and
I don't
Juliet,
get
just
it.
because that was a
Roll
great
what to
experience.
eat.
Chloe
She likes donuts.
from Spice and Wolf. Aki from Sergeant Frog. Miss Polly from Shin Chan, obviously. That's just a handful. The funny thing is,